Aphrodite, or Venus as the Romans called her. She's this super famous goddess from ancient Greek stories who's all about love, beauty, and that spark of attraction. Think of her as the ultimate icon for everything romantic and pretty. But there's more to her than just looking good. She's also about the deeper stuff like fertility and the magic behind creating life. Now, Aphrodite wasn't just about the steamy love stories. She played a big role in everyday people's lives back then. Folks all over Greece worshipped her because she represented big life themes: falling in love, finding beauty in the world, and starting families. She was a big deal in their culture, showing up in everything from wedding celebrations to public parties, setting the vibes for beauty and togetherness. Even though she was a goddess, Aphrodite had her share of soap opera moments, getting involved with other gods and even some humans, like the warrior god Ares and a regular guy named Anchises. These stories made her feel more relatable to the people who looked up to her. They showed that even divine beings could get caught up in the drama of love and relationships, making her seem more like one of us, just with some extra divine flair. So the story of how Aphrodite came into the world is as wild and fascinating as the goddess of love herself. There are two versions floating around, and both are pretty epic, showing off different sides of her vibe and powers. First up, we've got the blockbuster version by a guy named Hesiod. Picture this: Aphrodite doesn't just show up. She literally makes her grand entrance by popping out of the sea foam. This isn't your average birth story, though. It's the aftermath of a cosmic showdown between Uranus and Cronus, two heavyweight titans. She appears off the coast of Cyprus, making a splash in the most dramatic way possible. This story isn't just about where she comes from. It's like a shout-out to the raw power of nature, the mystery behind what draws us to beauty and love, and how sometimes the most stunning things come from chaos. But wait, there's another side to the tale. In this other version, Aphrodite is the kid of Zeus and Dione, which is a lot less dramatic but plugs her straight into the big league of Olympian gods. This lineage paints her as part of the divine A-list, underlining her importance among the other gods and goddesses. Having these two stories gives Aphrodite a sort of dual identity. On one hand, she's this wild elemental force of nature born from the sea's foam, representing the pure essence of beauty and attraction. On the other, she's a legit member of the divine dynasty, with all the clout and connections that come with being Zeus's daughter. This combo of backgrounds makes her super versatile, covering everything from love and beauty to helping sailors navigate the seas, and even dabbling in a bit of warfare. Her seafoam origin story is like the ultimate symbol of how beauty and love can come from the most unexpected places, while her godly parentage shows she's deeply woven into the fabric of both the godly and human worlds. Cyprus is basically the A-list celebrity hotspot of Greek mythology, thanks to being the place where Aphrodite, the ultimate goddess of love, beauty, and all things fertility, decided to make her grand entrance into the world. The backstory here is straight out of a wild mythological soap opera. Picture this: Uranus gets into a bit of a tiff, ends up losing some, personal parts, which Cronus chucks into the ocean. Where they land, boom, Aphrodite rises from the sea foam like something out of a fantasy movie, right off the coast of Cyprus. This isn't just a cool story for the locals to brag about, it's got some serious natural vibes too. There's this place called Aphrodite's Rock, a stunning sea stack that's pretty much the ultimate tourist selfie spot. It's not just a rock though, it's a big-time symbol of where Aphrodite supposedly popped up from the sea, making Cyprus the go-to place for anyone into their mythological celebs. Now, onto Aphrodite's favorite things, which are pretty much the ancient world's version of brand logos. She's got doves and swans, which are all about peace, love, and looking gorgeous, totally on brand for the goddess of beauty. Then there's the mirror, which is her way of saying, yeah, I know I'm stunning, and reminding us all about the beauty and, let's be honest, the vanity side of things. Roses are her go-to flower, and they're like the emoji for love, beautiful, but watch out for the thorns, because love isn't always a smooth ride. And let's not forget the sea connections, shells and all that, nodding to her dramatic sea foam birth. These symbols aren't just random, they're like little shout-outs to what she's all about: love, beauty, and the natural world. They're the things people would look at and think of Aphrodite, kind of like seeing a logo and knowing exactly what brand it is. So all these symbols in her story tie back to how she's worshipped and remembered, making her presence felt way beyond just the stories and into the real world where people lived and loved. Cyprus is like this epic backdrop to some of the coolest stories about Aphrodite, the goddess who's all about love, beauty, and sparking desire. This place isn't just a spot on the map, it's a living, breathing reminder of her legend. From its stunning landscapes and ancient ruins to the famous rocks sticking out of the sea, every corner of Cyprus whispers tales of the goddess who emerged from ocean foam and captured the hearts of ancient folks and modern-day dreamers alike. So here's the truth on Aphrodite. She's basically the ancient world's icon of all things love and beauty. Picture her as the goddess version of a celebrity influencer, but instead of Instagram, she was all over Greek myths, enchanting everyone from gods to regular humans. The story goes she popped up from sea foam, which is pretty much the most magical origin story you can get, tying her forever to the beauty of the natural world and the mysterious ways love comes into our lives. But hold up, Aphrodite's love life? It was anything but straightforward. Married to Hephaestus, the god who was all about crafting and creating, her heart wandered. She had flings with Ares, the bad boy god of war, and Adonis, the drop-dead gorgeous mortal. These stories aren't just ancient gossip. They're deep reflections on love's messy, complicated nature. They show us that even in the world of gods, love mixes joy with heartache, pleasure with pain, kinda like what we all go through. Scholars digging into these myths nowadays say that Aphrodite's tales are more than just old stories. They're like mirrors reflecting the wild, wonderful, and sometimes painful experience of love that every one of us might feel at some point. So while Aphrodite's adventures are set in the world of gods and mythical heroes, they hit close to home, reminding us that the journey of love is as old as time and as fresh as today's news. Now, her role in the Trojan War. So she basically threw her support behind Paris after he called her the top beauty in a legendary throwdown that kicked off the whole mess of the war. This wasn't just a case of divine ego-stroking. Historians are now pointing out how Aphrodite's choice in the beauty contest wasn't just about vanity. It actually set off a chain reaction that shows just how much a goddess of love and beauty could twist the fate of mortals and nudge history in a whole new direction. Moving on to how folks showed their love for Aphrodite back in the day, it turns out she was kind of a big deal all over the Greek world. Places like Cyprus, Cythera, Corinth, and Athens were major hotspots for Aphrodite appreciation. Each spot had its own way of celebrating her, with special rituals and festivals that went all out in her honor. These weren't just any parties. They were a big mix of love, beauty, and community spirit. Take the Aphrodisia Festival, for example. This was the must-attend event of the year, where people came together to celebrate everything Aphrodite stood for. Recent digs into history show that these festivals were more than just an excuse to party. They were a key part of gluing society together, making sure everyone stayed tight-knit and on good terms with the goddess of love herself. These rituals were about pumping up the social vibes, reinforcing bonds between people, and of course, keeping Aphrodite happy so she'd keep the good times rolling. Aphrodite isn't just a big deal in the art scene. She's a star in literature and pop culture too. Her stories have this magic touch for staying relevant, thanks to modern spins on ancient myths by authors, and heroism in ways that still hit home for us today. By mixing these timeless stories with the here and now, these writers make sure Greek mythology stays cool and interesting for everyone, keeping the spirit and lessons of these tales alive and kicking in our world. And it's not just in books where Aphrodite and her mythological crew make a splash. From Shakespeare's plays to Botticelli's iconic The Birth of Venus, her influence is everywhere. Movies and TV shows like Clash of the Titans and Wonder Woman prove that we can't get enough of these epic stories. Even in advertising, companies grab symbols and gods from these myths to jazz up their products, showing off the power and allure that these tales still hold. It's pretty clear that Greek mythology, with Aphrodite leading the charge, has this unique power to shape and mirror what we dig and value, making sure these ancient stories keep playing a starring role in our culture. The fact that stories about Aphrodite and her fellow gods are still kicking around today isn't just cool. It's a testament to how these ancient tales can morph and adapt, hitting home with the stuff we humans find eternally fascinating, like the messy, beautiful, and sometimes painful world of love and desire. Aphrodite's adventures, filled with passion, beauty, and the ups and downs of relationships, keep on inspiring and intriguing us, proving that they're more than just old myths. They're like the ultimate source material for all kinds of creative minds looking to explore and twist these themes into new works of art, literature, and even the latest TV binge. Aphrodite herself, this timeless icon of love and allure, sits at the heart of Greek mythology, showing us the intricate dance of emotions and connections that make up human life. Her stories are a mix of soap opera-level drama and deep insights into what it means to be human, touching on the divine but always keeping it real. The fact that her legacy has woven its way deep into the fabric of Western culture, popping up in everything from classic literature and stunning artworks to movies and social media, shows just how much these ancient narratives resonate with us. Where would you want to go first if you could hang out with Aphrodite, the love and beauty goddess? And hey, if you liked hearing about her stories, don't forget to like this video and hit subscribe to come along for more cool tales.